Hey, what's up guys? Today I'm doing an unboxing and first look of the Rival RHG Guerrero headgear. So check it out. Hey, what's up guys? Carlo here. Today I'm doing an unboxing and first look of the Rival RHG Guerrero headgear. This retails for $175. On their website, you can get it in 4 different sizes: small, medium, large, or XL, depending on the size of your head. There is a sizing chart located on their website. I got mine in medium. And you can get it in 4 different colorways: red, blue, white, or black. I decided to get mine in blue. Now, this is going to be Rival's newest headgear to their current lineup. They also came out with a no-foul groin protector to basically complete the set. So let me go ahead and open up this box so we can go ahead and take a look at this headgear. And essentially what they did was they already had the Guerrero lineup that's been around for years now, with both their bag gloves, their fight gloves, their sparring gloves, training gloves, whatnot. So the actual Guerrero line has been around for quite some time now, and essentially what Rival did was they created the headgear and the groin protector to essentially just add it to the lineup that they already had and basically complete the lineup of the Guerrero collection. So that's essentially what they ended up doing with the headgear and the groin protector. So let me go ahead and get this out so you guys can see it for yourself. So nothing too crazy here. You have the headgear that is wrapped in plastic right there. Go ahead and get this opened up. And one thing that I noticed when this headgear was initially released is that it kind of reminded me of like those old school style headgears. As a matter of fact, after I get done using this and eventually do a review, I actually have an old school headgear, I think somewhere in my garage, that looks pretty close to this. And that's what I feel like Rival kind of modeled this headgear after, was kind of that old school looking headgear from back in like the 1980s and even before then, the 1970s. It kind of reminds me of the headgears that a lot of the legendary fighters that we know, like Muhammad Ali, Sugar Ray Leonard, obviously the 4 Kings, Hagler, Hearns, Duran. This is the type of headgear, at least from a design and aesthetic standpoint, that's what it kind of reminds me of. So just to kind of go off their website, on Rival's website, the Rival RHG Guerrero headgear combines a classic vintage design with modern detailing. So again, that kind of reiterates what I initially thought was kind of that old school look. Entirely handcrafted using full grain quality leather for added resilience and featuring a unique shape that sets it apart from others. A Guerrero headgear provides exceptional sight lines, giving you a superior view of your opponent without compromising protection or that perfect fit, complete with beautiful unintrusive cheek protectors. So you do have the cheek protectors in the front. For unrivaled field of vision and featuring a nickel-plated steel roller buckle for an easy on and off chin strap. So this one does utilize kind of that standard belt buckle with the metal buckle right there. You can't really see right now. We'll see here in a second when I undo it. Completing the headgear, the perfect headgear is a secure lacing adjustment system on both the back and top of the headgear. So you have the lace on the top crown and on the rear, which I'm a big fan of. I don't like Velcro. Rival logo, legendary look, true ergonomic design, lightweight construction. Obviously I haven't weighed it yet. It feels, I'd say, medium in weight. It doesn't feel extremely lightweight. It doesn't feel super heavy either. But in terms of the weight of it, just guessing, I'd say it's medium. It's not ultra lightweight for sure. So that's essentially it off the website. So first things first, you have the Rival tag like they do on all their equipment. They put that tag on there. Again, you have the Rival oval logo that's embroidered on the forehead, established 2003. Again, I got mine in blue, full genuine leather construction. The leather here has more of a satin finish. It does also have a tag that is stitched into the crown Has kind of a QR code. This one was made in November of 2024, so almost a year ago. And it is made in Pakistan, so you have that right there. No surprises. With that, you do have leather loop straps up the top, at the very top crown, with the lace adjustment as well. Go ahead and take this off, actually. Kind of getting in the way. Yeah. Pull that to the side. So you have that top lace adjustment, and the cheek protectors on here. I'd say that they are kind of thicker to the outside, and then as they get closer to the cheeks, they kind of become more narrow. So they taper inwards. So it's a little bit thicker on this section of the cheek protector, and then let me see if I can flare it out. And then you can see that it kind of comes and is a little bit thinner at the point where your nose will end up being in between those two cheek protectors. But they don't look large or huge. They're definitely not like the Winning or some of those other Winning inspired headgears where the cheek protectors are closer to the nose, a little bit closer, and then they have that raised portion where it's thicker to give you a little bit more protection for when you take a shot to the nose. So you have that. So you have that. You have the ear donuts, are about an inch, it feels like, in thickness of firm density foam. You also have this diagonal crossbar. That crossbar, I'd say, is about 1/8 of an inch. It's basically just a little strap there to protect the side of your head and your eardrum when the side of your head gets hit from a hook or whatever other punch hits the side of your head. So you have that. The forehead is very thick. The padding is very thick. I'd say that the forehead is probably 2.5 inches in total thickness. It feels a little bit more firm on the exterior portion of the forehead, and then the foam padding on the inside feels a little bit softer. So hopefully that just feels more comfortable. The inside liner is a little concerning because the inside liner is leather as well. So, you know, from my own past experience, when you start sweating on leather, it gets pretty slick. So I'm kind of curious on how that does. You'll also notice it says Rival. It has some kind of a ghost monogram writing on the side right here of the head. That says Rival, and you can see it has kind of that glossy look, which looks really sharp. I like the way they did that. You have that on both sides of the headgear. It does say Guerrero, RHG Guerrero on the back next to the ear, and then it shows the size medium right there. The back of the head padding is about 3/4 of an inch of firm density foam padding. And then you can see the laces right there on the back with a tapered neck. So I'm gonna go ahead and loosen these up, and I'm gonna see how I can fit this onto my head. So I'm going to loosen up the headgear, and we'll kind of get an idea of how this fits onto my head once I get it all loosened up. And again, I personally prefer lace-up headgears. And I know I've mentioned this in other videos. Some of you guys that have been subscribers to my channel are probably tired of hearing it already. Oh, I know you really prefer lace-up, Carlo. You don't have to tell us over and over. But I just assume that sometimes there's people that haven't seen these videos, so I always have to say it just in case they haven't watched my previous videos before. So let me loosen this up to try to get these laces nice and even, and then I can adjust the crown if I need to as well. Typically, it's the rear laces that are the one for me that I find needs the most adjustment. That's going to be the circumference of your head. So I'm going to loosen that up, and then here's the chin strap. So here's a chin strap that just pulls out. Again, standard like leather belt buckle. It has a little flap that covers, and then you pull it from underneath. Has a little open tab, you can see, and then it has that, comes through, and then the buckle nickel plated. It has this little roller so that when you slide it on, it rolls on. And then you have the two little leather tabs for the chin strap. So I know for those of you that are like, oh, it's not like the quick clip Winning style chin strap. Yeah, it's not, but it is what it is. So let me go ahead and slide it on my head and see how it feels on the initial go. So initially, without tightening that up, let me go ahead and tighten the back. Now the top crown is actually pretty much perfect for my head. I might have adjusted a little bit, but the depth, so the top lace adjustment is basically to adjust how far down it sits on your head. 9 times out of 10, I don't have to adjust it very much. It's really the back lace that I have to adjust because that's like the circumference of your head. But from my initial feel, the ear donuts are right around my ears. So in terms of positioning, that feels good. All right, so let me go ahead and put the chin strap on. Slide it through this bottom tab and then through the belt buckle. Tighten that up and find the hole. See here. Okay, found it actually pretty easily. That's usually the most time consuming part sometimes, right? Is you're just trying to like mess with that belt buckle and get it through. And then lastly, there's another leather tab here that this goes through so that the leather doesn't just hang, like doesn't just dangle. And then you pull that through. There you go. So that essentially kind of does that. The chin strap is actually in a good spot. It's not too far back. So even if I drop my head down, I don't feel like it pushes back into my throat. It's pretty much right under my chin. And these little 2 padded tabs of leather do a good job of giving me some comfort and keeping the headgear pretty secure. So it does actually feel pretty snug on my head. Now the cheek protectors here, you can see for yourself. They come over right about here on the cheeks. I do prefer this style compared to some of those winning styles are a little bit more intrusive. So oftentimes you find that the cheek protectors will inhibit your vision just a little bit too much. And then also kind of, I hate the feeling of when they kind of push against my nostrils. Where this one does its job, obviously the headgear is there to help you obviously protect yourself from like head clashes or whatnot. So in terms of like your orbital bone and your cheeks getting any damage, I think this will do a pretty decent job. Obviously I haven't gotten hit with it yet, but I'll find out soon enough. Your chin is obviously exposed like most open face headgears. And you can see my nose is completely exposed. So, I mean, it is what it is. But the big thing is peripheral vision, right? So anytime with these headgears, to me, the biggest level of protection is how well you can see, how you visualize the punches coming at you, right? That's going to be your first and your most important layer of defense, because if you can't see, then you're not going to be able to move your head or use your feet or just whatever defensive mechanism you decide to use to slip or weave or get around punches. It's harder to do when your vision's inhibited or you don't have good peripheral vision. In the case of this headgear, I feel like I have very good horizontal vision. Like I can see to my left and to my right really well. The vertical vision is actually really good as well. Like I can see the top, or I can see this portion of the headgear, but if I'm crouching underneath and I'm looking up, it does pretty good. Like I can see pretty well. And then my downward vision for uppercuts or any kind of rising punches is very good as well. Like these cheek protectors are here, but I can see everything happening down here below, which is really important for me at least. So in terms of visibility, I'd say that this is probably one of the better headgears when it comes to visibility. The fit feels good. I don't feel like there's any pressure points around my head, nothing on my temple, my forehead, around my ears, the back of my neck. Everything fits really nicely. Again, I got size medium. If you go up a size, I would assume if I got these in large, got this headgear in large, I think the cheek protectors probably be a little bit closer to my nose. But I prefer it this way just because, again, I like to be able to see what's in front of me, what's happening. So, but yeah, feels really comfortable overall. Chin strap feels good as well. Again, big question is going to be how it performs when you're using it. Also, how well it sticks to your head once you start to sweat. That's going to be the big question mark as well. But so far, I'm impressed. You know, the quality on here looks really solid. The leather is really nice quality. There's nothing synthetic on this headgear. It all looks really premium. But yeah, and again, it kind of gives that old school vibe and feel to it. So if you're somebody that loves that old school look and feel, you know, from an aesthetic standpoint, I think this would be right up your alley. It doesn't look overly done, you know, it doesn't look tacky. So definitely like it. Looking forward to using this in sparring and eventually giving you guys the official review of this. So if you guys have any questions or comments, you guys know what to do. Put them down below. I'll put the link in the description box where you can find this rival RHG Guerrero headgear. See you guys later. Peace.